Yo, Nakama around the world, welcome back to Conqueror's Haki Corner. It's your boy Serge,
Yo.
your boy Vim,
Yo.
and myself, Rook. And we're here once again to bring you another chapter review of an amazing chapter of One Piece, chapter 987, Vassals of Glory.
So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share the video. The more you share, the more we grow. And thank you to everyone that's commenting and contributing to the page. We appreciate every single one of you, all of the new subscribers and all the original subscribers. Thank you. Shout out to you all. Before we get into it, let's cover off the nice little lovely color spread. Now, I like it. We keep advocating for Jinbei to be in the game, to take him off the bench. He's now officially a part of the spread, and they're on Bulldogs. It looks like they were about to fight people outside of the large Bulldogs. I'm not sure who's coming after them, but Luffy's having a good time. I've just noticed now that Luffy's actually got a Sabo stick, and if I look even closer, I think he's wearing his devil fruit as a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed that now.
If you look at the color of the Bulldogs, yeah, they're the same color as the Admiral.
Oh,
the purple Bulldog, Sora. The red one represents Akainu. The yellow one will represent Kizaru. So I think I'm not really one big on these color spreads, but I think there's some kind of foreshadowing going on if we look a little bit more closely.
Okay, so we haven't really got the green one there for Greenwood, then, do we? It's been left out at the moment.
All on things shirt. Look at is it Usopp?
The vest.
That's what I'm saying.
Got a bull on it.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
I see.
There's a lot going on there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hell a lot.
I'm not gonna I can read poneglyphs and decipher this stuff, but I know when something's up.
So Angie, yeah. Okay. Let's get started from the beginning, right? Kaido is having flashbacks of Oden, and at this point, he's just been attacked by the Scabbards.
More like nightmares, man.
So, right?
More like nightmares. Like, why does it hurt?
He's having nightmares, yeah. And this is the funny thing. He's trying to recall of what's happened last time, and all he can remember is that Oden saying, "You can forget me. For all I care, my soul will live on." Because Kaido tried to say to him, "Oh, you'll be immortalized. They'll always remember you." But he said, "Don't worry about that. My soul will live on. Basically, his will."
I think what's interesting there as well is the fact that they can pierce him and hurt him. That there's definitely people. Which ones of them I don't know, but they can use Rio, because obviously they can use certain members of the Akazaya 9 can use advanced armament Haki. I mean, I don't think Oda would put in some stuff like, oh, they've inherited like powers from Oden. I don't think it's that. They've obviously got his will and his intention in piercing Kaido, but to pierce him, I don't know who. So I'm going to say Kyoshiro will definitely be one of them because he seems like a powerhouse. I don't like to think that Kinemon's one of them, because why hasn't he showed us this so far when we needed him in Dressrosa and stuff like that? But clearly, some of them are really, really strong.
Fair play. Yeah. What's interesting about that, and I was saying sort of earlier that Kaido's language, he doesn't say Haki, he says real. So he's accustomed to the Wano culture overall. Like that's where he lives, essentially. So when he's referring to Haki, he's not referring to Haki anymore. So for him, it's the language there, that's what he's referring to. Right? Yeah, he's obviously felt it, and he's fallen down, and now
any conquerors going on there.
okay.
I guess similar to the headbutt that OT gave to Luffy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, that's what I was trying to refer to, because I remember we were going back and forth at that previous point. So if it's the same element, that means that it's just that when you're facing stronger opponents and armament levels up to that level, the sparks will fly even more, essentially.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful panel. Kishiro, Raizo, Nekomamushi, and you just got them like staring down, teeth baring, pierce his hide. Crazy, crazy. A lot of adrenaline being pumped out there.
It's interesting that they shouted out that Kaido screaming. So I wonder how much pain he's actually feeling. Is it more so of what they're dealing to him, or is it Oden's scar that mainly he's feeling? If that makes sense.
Well, he goes on in a little kind of speech where, you know, he says that stuff like, oh, wow, so everything Orochi was prophesying came true that day. I don't think it's like nothing directly linked like physically to Oden. I think it's more just the spirit of the whole matter, and it kind of reminds him, because then he goes to the flashback of that dialogue with Oden and when he shot him dead and all that stuff. But also in that dialogue, what I found very, very interesting, because Kaido goes on a speech, and I think it's like we're gonna start. I think very soon we're gonna go in some aspects into the backstory of Kaido, because they're letting out more and more in the way. It's not so much what he's saying; it's also the way he's saying. He's like, I have been keeping my eye on Luffy. You've allied yourself with pirates with him, but pirates will always betray you. Remember that. But I'm paraphrasing. But the thing is, what I say with that is, it sounds like a sentence that he's speaking from experience. Now, the only thing we know about Kaido's history with pirates, other than his own pirates, where he could be betrayed, is the Rocks pirates. Now, when you go back and connect it, Rocks D. Jabek, no disrespect, but I don't think Oda brings up such a story just to hype Garp and Roger. I think these people, obviously, we got the whole thing of Rocks and Blackbeard's inherited will, but I think there's going to be more to it. So is it a case where Rocks betrayed his crew? Like on that, when there was that fated battle, did he betray his crew? Or did he betray Kaido and turn his back on Kaido at some point for the sake of survival? Because what has motivated, because Kaido will have his own motivation for, as he said, I'm going to show you the strongest army in the whole world. Even in the beginning of Wano, when he says, you know, too many conquerors doesn't work. Like, these are all important things. And I think Oda's slowly starting to kind of tie this all in as we're going to go into the backstory. But I think it all pertains to I think what he's saying with the pirates' betrayal is going to pertain to something to do with the Rocks pirate days and how people betray. I think it's also foreshadowing with, like, for example, Big Mom, because she's definitely going to betray him or do him over.
So as you were just saying that, I actually agree with everything you said, right? We've said it a couple of times before, and I'm going to keep advocating. Kaido is such a layered, complex character. It's sort of to the point, like you said, you know what? You sort of love to hate him. He's not going to be the guy that wins, but you're like, wow, your character is quite unique to the point where there's something different about you. It's not that you were just born strong and you hit a bear. Like Big Mom had her own uniqueness, but she was a childlike mentality. So I just want everyone to be together. I just want everyone to be happy. It's sort of happy-go-lucky kind of behavior. Whereas Kaido's quite dark internally in terms of the suicidal thoughts, in terms of the betrayal, like you mentioned. It's very much, nothing's gone right for me. So don't worry, I'm going to... Sorry?
I said, but he survived.
But he survived. And that's what's crazy. There you go. And the fact that he survived, he saw, okay, why am I still here? He's questioning. His existence is always questioned by himself rather than anything else. And I'm going to say ego, right? But you know when you go back to if Rocks D. Jabek betrayed him or something, yeah? Does he have something to prove for having an all-out war or the best army? Did someone say to him, his captain said, you'll never be. If you carry on the way you are, you're not going to get to where you need to get to. Do you understand? Like, sort of,
it's like a child being told you're never going to be able to do this, and he says, like, see, I can do it.
And they sort of he's channeled his way into that energy. So,
well, if you think about the, you know, when Gold Roger and Garp, when they took out the Rocks pirates, it's like what it seems, so you had a lot of these Yonkos who weren't in their prime but were clearly very strong. You had other strong guys like John the Axe and Shiki the Lion and all that stuff, but they got beats by these guys. Yeah, it's I just find it either like obviously there's going to be more to where like Rocks. I'm not saying Rocks is alive, but if you remember what Sengoku said, he said Rocks is not of this world anymore. He didn't say he's dead. Now, it's like what happened on that day with Rocks that one led to possibly, if the theory is true, that Blackbeard got inspired. Is there some kind, because you know what, Oda's been going crazy with these devil fruit abilities. I don't like the idea of this, and this is a reach here, but is there like a way where maybe he did an Orochimaru reflex and took over a young person's body, or redid himself to grow up as Blackbeard? Like, God knows. And the fact that, you know, like Kaido keeps talking about this betrayal, I look at it as when Garp and Roger teamed up, you had probably like the two strongest people in the world come to like just lay the smackdown on everyone. And I think Rocks just abandoned his crew. So where he went, what happened with him, we're still, I think Oda's layering clues as to we're going to get into that plot as well. Because even when we think about Imu Sama, like this story's gone a lot deeper than I thought it would ever go when they introduced Imu. So the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So I'll headbutt. You know, I love the way he just names people. But I think we're gonna have like a little miniature clash between Yamato and Ulti, because they obviously have a little ladies' fight. But what I think will happen very soon as well, yeah. So you have Big Mom confronting Luffy, yeah, and Luffy obviously gives a speech like she tells him like, "Don't come out with some foolishness like you're here to defeat Kaido." Luffy's like, "No, I'm not here to defeat Kaido. I'm here to beat you, and you. I'm here to kick all your asses." Like, but what I think is gonna happen now, and I guarantee it because Oda's that kind of guy, yeah. If you remember the last time Luffy saw Big Mom was at Udon, and he was still trying to learn Ryu. So he went to try and do what the admirals did at Marineford, like to block that. But obviously he couldn't, and Big Mom sent him flying. I think there's going to be an instance where Big Mom goes to hit him, and he's going to block it, just to show his development. It's not going to be like, no, he's going to beat her up, but he's going to hold his own. And that's going to kind of set us up, you know, for when he does eventually go to fight Kaido. Another thing that I want to add, which I think is really important, it's been going on as a theme for the last 3-4 chapters, is the link between Zoro, Kid, Law, and before Luffy. But Zoro, I think, is now being kind of elevated to, you know, he's being put on a level with all these characters, because usually he plays a different position. He's usually kind of, he does what he does, like he fights the other guy or whatever, he fights strong people or whatever, but he does his own thing. But I think the reason why he's doing this is because he's going to play a significant role. I think he's definitely going to be fighting Kaido after he beats his opponent. Like, they're all going to have to come together and help.
Yeah.
It's that whole kind of thing of the supernova.
Yeah.
But just drawing attention that he's being put on the level with captains.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And if it definitely going to be awakening Conqueror's Haki very soon. Like, or demonstrating it, displaying it, however you want to look at it. It has to happen.
But he's got a powerful sword, bro. So he has to do it with that sword.
Well, I looked at it when he first tamed the sword.
Jeez.
The way it was drawn, like, is the intimidating sword. And I mean, we've had this whole intimidation thing and aura of sword all the time, but I think this is the right platform for it to happen. Nami escaped.
Yeah, Nami and Carrot. Yeah, did a little side hustle.
They were playing possum. They could have escaped a long time ago, but I think they wanted to
distracted at that point. So as soon as she was distracted with Luffy, perfect time for them to bounce. So it's a good opportunity.
Let Shinobu get away.
Yeah.
Say, let Shinobu get away.
Huh?
You say she let Shinobu get away.
No, so Shinobu, like, because Shinobu didn't get caught. They didn't want to, like, get away and then they go after Shinobu as well. You know what I mean? Because Shinobu's trying to save Momonosuke. So I think that because she kind of got out easily when you look at it. Like, Nami, she could have got out time ago. So it's kind of crazy.
We then are now at the point where Kaido transforms. So this is where it gets heavy now. So I heard that straw hat. Do it. I accept your challenge. And the reason is because of Luffy's words. It's an all-out war. That sentence resonates with Kaido because that's all he wants. Let's go. Let's go for the war. This is it.
That's what I'll show you the strongest army.
Yeah, this is it.
Another interesting thing though, when obviously there's the whole thing, like first, like Big Mom says to Luffy, what, you and 100 people are gonna take us all out. But that's when Queen starts to get the information relayed, like, oh, we got 1,000 people busting in here. That's when we see Zoro, Kid and Law and everyone, yeah. But what's really interesting is what were Perospero and Marco the Phoenix doing together? Because clearly, like, they're not facing each other, they're both facing in the same direction. So it's a thing of like, what was said between them? Because I mean, we know Perospero doesn't like this whole idea of an alliance. Like, he's there on his own agenda right now, or whatever he's trying to do. I think one of the things that Perospero will serve a purpose for is when this whole place goes to shambles, is he's gonna help Big Mom sail away with his whatever he has. What's his ability again?
Lollipop.
Yeah. He'll slam her away.
The thing is Perospero, right? One thing I've learned about his character over the past, even like few chapters in terms of when he was introduced back into Wano, self-preservation. So he would have talked his way out of getting into a fight with Marco. In whatever fashion of way, he's intelligent enough to have a conversation to sort of say, look, we're only here to X, Y, and Z. So I don't want to do X, like just blah blah blah. Like, and that's more because he's not the strongest, but he can talk the slickest.
Yeah, that's his ability, slick.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more so on a mutual thing, you know, like because Perospero's there because Big Mom, Perospero is there for Big Mom's sake. She asked him to come along. No, I could be wrong here. Marco is there to carry out the war. So there could have been a conversation to say, what's the reason you are here? I've got some information for you. Trickery to an extent on Marco's side. Perospero is not there to join an alliance anyway. So he's not there to back Kaido in any way. He's there for Big Mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, we don't know what their motive actually is. Whether it actually be to get the poneglyph, Marco could say, I know where the poneglyph is.
Okay. If Marco gets a print of that poneglyph,
I don't think Marco will.
Yeah. No, I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs it, but he understands the importance of it.
We got someone else has to be in the mix for that anyway.
Yeah, Kaido bursting the roof is just plot armor so we can get the full moon. We're gonna finally. I can't believe it's happening this early, but we're gonna get the Sulong mix. And I hate to say this, like, I'm not even like people probably getting excited. Oh, Sulong. The fact that it's happening so soon, I see them getting wiped out. Because all it will do, listen, Oda's moving quickly, but he can't move too quickly. And there's no way that, it's in the meantime, like I said, Luffy's going to demonstrate his power with Big Mom, his improvement, Kaido, all these people that are attacking Kaido right now are going to serve to show us what he really is about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Whitebeard at Marineford. All these people went to try, chop off half his face, stab him here, but he took it like a champ. And then he still came up and whooped Akainu's ass. I honestly think that, and also, the Minks fought Jack. So we know that without their Sulong form, they could fight Jack. Yeah. So the fact that they can go Sulong, and a lot of them are going to go Sulong, you're going to have Neko and Ino right in front of Kaido. Kaido's going to smack them up. And this is what's going to happen. They're going to do they're going to have their little sequence where they're going to look cool as hell, and they're going to maybe bounce him around a little bit, kind of like Luffy did when he first fought him. Yeah. But maybe like they'll beat up his dragon form or something. But when Kaido gets serious, I really, and I dare to say, I can kind of see some of these Akazaya 9 dying. I never thought it before. I know death is not a big thing in One Piece, but this Marineford had death, and this is where the stakes are the highest. And it was kind of almost foreshadowed by Kinemon in this chapter when he goes, even if we gladly give our lives because Luffy's the one to carry on, our borders are going to open regardless. So I think the Minks are in big trouble.
I'm gonna counter it, and I'm gonna explain why, And then just to go off the back of what I said, if every last one of us dies, he will remain. Mark my words, daybreak will come to Wano. So Kinemon's speech is pretty much everything that these guys are doing in front of the Kaido. They're the sacrifice. Ino and Neko they're gonna show their Sulong form. They're not gonna, and then it's not gonna be up to par for Kaido level. That's a given. But like you said, it will be sick. Blah blah. It'll be good fight scenes. Everything will be good on whenever they're that fight, and then it will show just what they're capable of doing individually and as a group. The other Minks, though, Serge, right? When you say they're gonna burn out, you know, the only reason I say I disagree, right? I was having a conversation with Luxel, and I said to him, "There's levels to endurance for a Sulong form, and some have trained themselves to probably be more capable of enduring it for a longer time than others, without them getting overwhelmed with it. And the only time we've seen it is with Carrot, and Carrot burned out. She burned out.
I'm not saying all the Minks. I'm saying Neko and Ino. I'm saying they're going to be sacrificed.
All of them. I think all the Scabbards are done. I think to the point where they can't fight after.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't disagree, but I think they're going to be to the point where they're just going to get their asses kicked. But that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to fight to the point where their boss didn't save them. They would have happily died for Oden. Oden put them on his back. So for this is, we're going to do as much as we can to you. Doesn't matter if it's just holding you back for a bit.
Yeah, they're there to do a little bit of damage, which I think they will do. They're there to add damage so that it's more plausible for Luffy and crew to, like, basically, I think the Supernova are going to take out Kaido. It's going to have to be the Super, because that's what's kind of coming together. If you look in the panel with Trafalgar Law as well, Hawkins is there. The one with long hair next to him subtly.
Of course, sir.
I was going to question it, but I thought maybe something else.
Hawkins, because Hawkins said to Law, the only reason I sided with Kaido was because at the time, when Apu betrayed us, I was under certain death if I didn't. He plays the cards. Now, he'd been playing his cards, and obviously, I always thought he was going to come back to the right side eventually. Like, Hawkins is not like a redundant character in that kind of way. Okay. But I think Supernova, they're gonna go at Kaido, and I think these are gonna have to honor Oda in their fight. They're gonna make some noise, kind of like when Pedro died in Dressrosa. He didn't die for nothing. He did his bit. So I think these lot will do their bit, and I don't think all of them will die. But I expect one or two of them to go. Like,
yeah,
definitely.
I don't think the Minks will die. I think they'll burn out, and then they'll just be, that's it. They can't do much more.
Maybe.
And a couple of the samurai, Kinemon could be, they have to.
I say Kinemon lives because he needs to see Otsuru, and he said that he will come back to us. So I'm gonna say Kinemon's gonna get saved. I think more than likely Kyoshiro will probably fall.
Okay.
Because he played for a while.
I always say that people that play double agent tend to die. So, and he's close to Kinemon as well. So it's going to have more kind of, well, one of them anyway. One of them died, the other one will be really upset. Yeah. And I think more than likely, I think Kyoshiro is the more likely candidate to die. But regardless, this fight is just there to serve. We're not going into the phase where we're going to really build up Kaido. We're going to go at some point into his backstory, but we're going to really now start to see the levels. Kind of like we saw with the Whitebeard crew and Whitebeard at Marineford, we're going to start to slowly level that up and see why Kaido is the strongest beast in the world.
Yeah. So we're on a break next week, so we're going to have to wait.
Yeah. Guys, do you reckon a Kaido backstory anytime soon?
Not immediately, but at some point in the near future, I think we go there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done that with like pretty much every... He did it with Big Mom. I don't see why he ain't going to do it with Kaido. We're going to have something.
Closer to the time when, if it is when we do get to the Supernova vs Kaido levels, closer to that setting, when they're drawing closer together. Because what Kaido will start to see is he's going to be observing his team falling around him. And that's going to trigger something in him. When you can see your comrades and your army failing, well, hold on, what's going on here? And then sort of going back to whatever experience he's had in the past, etc.
So it's like his morale boost.
No, more like demotivating, to be honest, but to sort of like for him to feel like this, I can't let this happen again. Last time this happened, so it's just more like it's just gonna bring up bad memories, I reckon.
But guys, let us know what you thought about that chapter. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Let us know what you thought about some of the stuff we said in there. and get back to us and let us know what you can add. Maybe we can talk about something next time we catch up. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like, and don't forget to share the video. The more you share, the more we grow. But from Konkurozaki Corner, it is a peace out.